Hey, man in the Mayhem here, how are we all doing today? And today I want to talk to you about Bjorn Cyber Viking. Bjorn Cyber Viking is an offensive cybersecurity tool that runs off a Raspberry Pi Zero and an ePaper screen. In this video, I'm going to show you the cheapest, quickest hardware to get that's compatible, that gives you a case, a screen, and the Raspberry Pi working itself. So to start off with, let's jump over to the GitHub page and see what it says. So this is the GitHub page here. It says, Bjorn is a powerful network scanning and offensive security tool for a Raspberry Pi with a 2.13-inch ePaper hat. It discovers network targets, identifies open ports, exposes services and potential vulnerabilities. Bjorn can perform brute force attacks, file stealing, host zombification, and support custom attack scripts. And what's nice about this is it all comes on a Raspberry Pi Zero and has an ePaper display, so it's all in one. This product is very much still in its alpha. It is still being developed and worked on by a lovely French bloke. He's doing a really good job of working through things, and he's just come back from a break over Christmas. The GitHub page itself has got plenty of information about how to get started, the prerequisites and how to get it all installed. It's also got some lovely troubleshooting stuff on there. One of the things that I really like about Bjorn Cyber Viking is this little dwarf that we have here. He really gives a lot of character to the device, and you can watch him work away as you start hacking networks. Right, so now look at the GitHub page, let's have a look at the actual device itself. So here you go, this is Bjorn. As you can see, he's actually already starting to do SSH brute force attacks on different parts of my network here. What you can see is the title here, all the different things it's gathered so far and whatnot. We've got what it's currently doing, describing it, and of course we've got our little avatar which keeps changing down here. I'm not too worried about you seeing these IP addresses. All these IP addresses are my private IP address. If you find my public one and manage to get to my network and find any use for these, that's great. But they're all IPv4, so I can't see there being any issues there. So as you can see, he's going to quickly just start hacking away and brute forcing with some password word lists that I've already broke into it. He's going to be using SSH password brute force lists that I've already built into this. So the way that I put this device together to make it as quick and easy as possible to get off the ground is by just using two individual items. This one does not come with a battery, but it has a case, it has the screen, and it has a Raspberry Pi W. So you can pretty much put all three things together out of two packages and get yourself off the ground. So the items that I bought were these. I've got the WaveShare 2.13 Touch ePaper hat with case. I also got the Raspberry Pi Zero W with headers already built in, so it made it as easy as possible to put together. So this is it disassembled. As you can see, the ePaper screen in the lid of the case will always stay on. I know that the developer is working on making it so that it wipes it clean after each logon and boot off. As you can see, it's just pushed into there and held on with some tape. It connects to the actual Raspberry Pi Zero through the GPIO headers. On the other side, you can see that I've only put two screws in, Raspberry Pi Zero boards in there, and it just literally fits into there beautifully. So when you actually arrive, the screen isn't inside of the top of the case. You just pull the tape off, push the screen in, take both parts and sandwich them together, and there you go. What's also really nice about this particular case and screen combo is the fact that it will also work with a Ponagotchi or any other Raspberry Pi projects that also use an ePaper display. And as I've said before, what I really like about this is that you are ready to go. As long as you've got a power bank or a USB into a laptop or a wall plug, you can actually start testing on networks. And of course, make sure you only do tests on your own networks or networks you have permission to test. So let's go through how to actually install this. First off, we're going to come onto our Raspberry Pi imager. We're going to pick our Raspberry Pi model. Mine is a Raspberry Pi Zero 2W. We're going to choose the OS. According to the GitHub, we need to be using the 64-bit operating system for the Zero W2. So I will pick the 64. And then storage, I'm going to pick my SD card. Now, as always, make sure that you don't accidentally wipe over your other important drives. Once we've done that, we're going to apply some customizations to our settings. So we're going to edit our settings. I'm going to call it Bjorn. I'm going to then make sure that the username is Bjorn, and just for ease for now, I can change this later, I'll put the username as Bjorn. The very important thing to do at this stage is to make sure that you put your actual Wi-Fi network on here to make sure that you can join your network and SSH into the device. Also make sure you set your location, otherwise your wireless card will not turn on. Once I've done that, I'm going to apply my settings and I'm going to wipe the SD card. This may take a little while, so grab yourself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. For now, I'm just going to fast forward through this. Now that that's finished, we're going to plug that SD card into our Raspberry Pi Zero and plug our Raspberry Pi Zero into a power source. This next bit might take a minute or two, but we've got to wait for the Raspberry Pi to power up, boot up a couple of times, get an IP address so we're able to SSH into it. So the tool that I'm going to use to find the IP address of the Bjorn is I'm going to use Advanced IP Scanner. I'm going to put in my IP range for my private IP addresses and then I'm going to click scan. And this will scan through all of my devices on my network and show me what their IP addresses are. There is also an app that you can download to get yourself set up with, and that is available on the GitHub page to help you find your Bjorn device. Now with the IP address, we're going to SSH into the device. So SSH. It's going to be Bjorn at 192.168.1.5. This should then ask us for the password, which we set as Bjorn. Now that we're in, we need to go to the GitHub and go to the installation page here. We're going to copy down the actual install script, right click and hit enter. This will now then give us some options to be able to go through. So we are going to do a full installation. We know that we are using an ePaper version 4, so we're going to pick option number 4. This is now just asking to make sure everything is working as it should be, and we are going to continue anyway. And now this will actually start pulling all that down and start installing it. So I'll just leave this running and we'll come back to it once it has finished. And once it's rebooted, it's all up and ready to go. So let's jump across and look at the website. So this is the web GUI. So once you've got it all set up, you need to make sure that you've got your USB plugged in and you've got it set to USB gadget. So this page here allows us to interact with our Bjorn. We can actually see the Bjorn physically here, so we can see what's actually happening in real time on the screen. On top of that, we can also come to here and clear our files, reboot the device, disconnect the Wi-Fi, restart Bjorn services, shut down, backup, restore, stop the orchestrator, start the orchestrator, and create live status and actions. The next tab over, we have got our settings. Make sure that if you do want to change settings, you click save here. This particular button here is meant to be able to allow you to change different Wi-Fis, but it sometimes does not work. At the moment, mine looks to be working nicely. When you do change settings, make sure you click save, and you can also restore from here, and this will let you kind of automatically change what happens to your device and what it is doing. The next tab is the network tab. This will show us exactly what is on the network that we're currently scanning. We then have our credentials, where it will save all the credentials from the different tests that it has performed, and we have our loot for any files that have been stolen. Well, I hope you enjoyed that tutorial on how to set up your very own Bjorn Cyber Viking. Like I said, the whole point of this video was to use the easiest hardware to put together and the simplest way of doing the actual software install. Just remember that this is in alpha, it is still being developed, there will be bugs. If you need help, go to Discord, but also do your own research first. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more content like this, feel free to like, comment and subscribe. Catch you next time. Cheers guys.